Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Language is fascinating. Sometimes just the translation of nation's name mean a lot of fun. Today we're gonna talk about how the Chinese call you. First thing first, how we call ourselves. Well, China translates into Chinese is 中国, 中国, which means the central country. At the very beginning, 中国 means the center of certain area surrounded by other countries. But now things has changed. Some people think China is the center of universe. Right, let's move on to other countries. Most of the translation is try to get close to the pronunciation and avoid to the negative words. For example, we call Canada 加拿大, 加拿大. You can hear the pronunciation is pretty close. And Italy, you call it 意大利, 意大利. Nothing special, just try to get close to the pronunciation. But sometimes we can add a little bit more detail to describe this country. For example, Australia, the official translation is 澳大利亚. 澳大利亚. You can hear the pronunciation is pretty close. It's 4-character country, it's a little bit long for us, so more likely we will use 澳洲 to describe Australia. 澳 means Aussie, of course. Then 洲 means continent. So together it means the continent of Australia. This is the funny bits of Chinese language. Even though someone never heard of what is Australia means, but when they heard 澳洲, they can guess maybe it is somewhere very big, very at the middle of the ocean. Next one, let's move on to America. USA precisely, our favorite frenemy. American translate into Chinese officially is called 美利坚国, 美利坚国. You may realize why the A is disappeared. Because this is the Chinese language habit. Sometimes when you want to call somebody and you add an A at the head of the name. So for example, someone is called John, I will call John, John, just for easier to pronounce it. So when we translate American, we choose to forget about the A. 美利坚国. What is 美利坚 means? We can separate it. 美 means beautiful. 利 means sharp. 坚 means strong. It's quite a positive meaning to describe this country. Just like Australia, the name is a little bit too long for us, so more likely we will choose to use 美国. 美国 just pick up the 美, the beautiful country. Sometimes, basically, it's right now that American is kind of like sensitive thing, so we choose 美利国 to describe America. It's also the same meaning. Then we move on to our old neighbor, Japan. Actually, I really don't know why Japan is called Japan, because the Japanese people themselves, they call their nation Nihon, Nihon. Then we call them 日本, 日本. So you can see the pronunciation is pretty close and the character is the same. And the funny bit is Nihon just sound like 霓虹 in Chinese. In old days, it means rainbow. Nowadays, it also means neon light. So sometimes we will call Japan 霓虹国, the country of 霓虹. In some way, it's because we see a lot of Japanese movie and Tokyo got lots of neon light. So 霓虹 is pretty good to describe Japan. Let's move on to another island country, England. England translates into Chinese is 英格兰, 英格兰. It's pretty close to the pronunciation, but the truth is a little bit more than that. More likely, we will choose 英 this character to describe England. So we call it 英国, 英国. And 英 translates into English means elite. I know there are still lots of stupid people live in England. Not everybody is like Sherlock Holmes, but in our concept, England seems like a country full of smart people. You got Oxford, you got Cambridge, and you got Tom Hiddleston. In our impression, it seems like everybody is elite. So it's really good to describe England. And sometimes in a very specific context, we will choose to use 英gay南 to describe England. And gay means gay is the same meaning. I know it's true that not a lot of gay live in England, but we watch a lot of movie and a lot of character is homosexual. And a lot of celebrity is homosexual. So in our concept, it seems like why England got so many gay. Unfortunately, England is a country with many names and each one has slightly different meanings, but in our concept, it all goes to 英国. If you say you're from UK, you think you are 英国 people. If you say you are British, we will think you are 英国 people. If you say you are Scottish, we will still think, oh, you are 英国 people. So it's kind of bad thing. You can see why we just couldn't figure out why your country is so complicated. Let's move on to the old friend of England, France. France translates into Chinese is 法兰西. 法兰西. You can hear just basically because the pronunciation. But I pretty like this one because the 兰 in 法兰西 means orchid. It reminds us this pattern. But usually we just call France 法国, 法国. And sometimes it's because the information source is different, so we translate into different things. For example, Germany. Germany in Chinese is called 德国, 德国, so it seems like nothing about Germany. Because 德 is referred to Deutsch. So in Chinese context, we will just call Germany 德国. Finally, if you are smart enough, you may already realize that 国 means country or nation. Sometimes it's quite confusing because you want to choose country to describe some area and nothing sensitive because you just want to describe a country. But it all goes to 国. Country is 国, nation is 国, so it becomes kind of sensitive. Okay, that's all for today. Culture is always enjoyable, but diplomacy is really annoying. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Bye bye.